Right now you are an entrepreneur. You have this community kinetic one, right?
That's right.
And
I have some startup. Yeah,
yeah, that does about youth, music, and culture. Uh,
right.
I mean, you could have done that in Singapore. Why did you go to where you are right now to do it?
uh, no, I think I think the answer to that is that when I first came to China, I didn't know I was going to start Kinetic One, which
Oh,
is actually a social video company. We build channels online in China, so the channels are distributed all across on the different YouTubes of China. There are many, 5 or 6 or more, the equivalent of YouTubes in China. When I first came to China, I didn't know I was going to do this, and I think what I think that often there's a misconception. I think that somehow entrepreneurs have a sit at home or sit in Singapore, or sit on Bali Island, like, on a beach, and then suddenly they are struck by this moment of
Eureka!
epiphany, eureka! I know I have this idea. I have to go to China. That's where my destiny is. Um, I think more often than not, it doesn't happen that way. I think what happened for me was I I think I found the idea for the startup through the community I had online. I think what happens is that once you're connected to a community, certain opportunities will be drawn towards you. I think the answer to why I started Kinetic One in China is really because um, I think I was open and curious and exploring, and I become plugged into this community of innovators and entrepreneurs. Many of them are based in China, and I think one thing led to another, and I ended up running a company. That is, if you look at my various projects over time, I mean, I made Twittamentary, which is a crowdsourced Twitter documentary, but I also launched a startup around the same time. But the thing in common between those two ventures is actually that I have been exploring the kind of intersection between video or film and social media. I think that has been something that I've been very curious about over the past 5 years at least, because I think, and my curiosity goes beyond, can I tweet about this film that I made? I think my curiosity was really, how has social media fundamentally changed the dynamics of how we create content, share content, connect to the community. I think the one differentiating factor between traditional TV and making content online is actually community. When you make content online, your audience is not your audience. Your audience is actually this tribe or this community that have a shared interest. It's really about how can you harness the power of the community, to create and share content that is actually very sticky and very engaging. I think we're in a phase of online video, or where we still think, most of the time we're still thinking of uploading TV shows onto the web. We still make the shows the same way. The only difference is that we tweet about them and we post on Facebook about them. But that's not real web native content. I think web native content, there are several things. For example, content that would not be viable in traditional TV becomes viable on the web, because you can target and find your viewers. You can actually know where they are, how to find them, what they're interested in. And so I think actually I think social media is a fundamental game changer. We're seeing the beginning of it in terms of how the impact it has on content creation and distribution. But I think there'll be more of it, as we go along, and I think new genres, new ways of, new types of content, and new ways of sharing the content and watching the content will continue to emerge.
Right now, you are an entrepreneur. You start out in many new
Mm.
ventures and stuff, and you're always trying out new things.
Right.
How do you feel at times? I mean, do you feel like slightly inadequate at times? Do you feel a bit fearful? And how do you go about it?
I think I think that I think trying to do something innovative always involves, I think, the ability to cope with extreme uncertainty, and I think it applies to both making Twittamentary in a very crowdsourced kind of way, which I never tried before, and also now working on my social video startup in China. So I think it's one of those things that you always have to live with, because it's not very. I think it's not always very clear when you are succeeding and when you're failing. Where the line is, and because I think also it's something that requires a lot of stamina. You have to kind of keep working on it for a very, very long time. I think what helps me always is actually feel. I think one is actually to redefine success. I think that always helps, because I think that for the things I'm trying to do, conventional measure of success don't always apply. So, for example, when I make a film like Twittamentary, I'm not trying to check all the like go to the film festivals or do something like that. I think I'm trying to learn something myself and then share what I've learned with a larger community. So I think the key to living a life of uncertainty and excitement, I guess, or adventure, is actually being able to redefine success and find ways to. I think I always remind myself that I'm doing all these things because I'm really interested in them and I enjoy doing them, because I think it's something that's very difficult to keep doing if you don't enjoy it. For example, I never thought I will be an entrepreneur in an internet-related field. I think it's not a dream I grew up with. It's simply an opportunity that I stumbled upon and I found interesting. So I think, but sometimes I feel that the anxiety is exaggerated in the sense that people who are in very stable jobs also have anxiety, but in a very different way. The anxiety could be that of stagnation, of repeating themselves, or it could actually be one of that the fact that you're not kind of growing. And I think as long as I'm growing and the business is growing, I think that there's reason to continue. Yeah.
So if let's say for people like me, who's starting out and all that, what kind of advice would you give to us? If there's one advice you can give to us, how should we go about?
I think my most important advice is probably don't do it for the money, and don't rush. Probably, don't do it for the money and don't rush. The reason is because I feel that I think it's a myth that entrepreneurs are in it to make a quick buck. Yeah, because I think if you look at the probability of success, it's quite low. It's not. A small number of people succeed at running startups, and an even smaller number is able to both be successful and actually be able to make a lot of money at it, like sell off the startup at great valuation. So I think when I say don't do it for the money, I don't mean that you shouldn't make money. I think you should. I think profit is one of the ways to measure the viability of a company. I think it's just that there must be some deeper motivation, that is something that you do enjoy, and generally, I think if you go about it that way, good things will happen. I think that you will also be able to make better decisions, and because I think if you are in a hurry and if you're only doing it for the money, you tend to make a lot of bad decisions. About what to do, what kind of business to do, about people decisions, because I think fear and greed tend to fuel very poor decisions. And I think, to put it very prosaically, running a startup is actually a lot about very good decisions or making the best decisions you can at any point in time over a very long time. Because you ultimately a startup CEO is there to set direction, and to bring the team along with them to realize a vision. So I think the quality of decision really has to do with your state of mind, at the state of your heart, and you need to protect that and guard it, I think, very carefully, and not just be, I think the more anxious you are to succeed, the more likely it is that the success will elude you. Because I think there are also a lot of stories that about startups not working out and burning through all the cash that we don't really hear a lot about, because I think in some ways that's more the norm than the startup is a big global success within 2 years. That's quite rare. I think just like it takes a long time to develop and finish a film, it also takes a fairly long time to get a startup to work. I mean, it's not unusual to take 4, 5, 6 years or more to create a business that works. I think right now there's a lot of buzz about startups like Instagram that that was bought by Facebook within 2 years at a $1 billion valuation. But there are very few startups like Instagram. So I think my advice is simply don't do it for the money and don't rush. Take your time, enjoy what you're doing, do your best to make the best decision in every moment. And I think the other things will fall into place, because I think then you will connect to the right people, you will focus on the right things, and generally if you do it over a period of time, it's difficult for good things not to happen to you.
Yeah,
Things will happen to you.
I do agree. I think decisions right now, I mean, we have to make decisions. I believe that when we feel at peace at heart, that you feel that it's calm. I mean, when you're chasing after money, you feel like, oh, I need to earn money next moment. I need to earn 1 million the next moment. Your heart is always pounding and pumping, and you have so much anxiety. But if the decision that you make is at peace with your heart and you can really be calm about it, I think that is a good decision. And when you have a clear mind, making that decision. So we will, as per usual, do this very favorite segment of mine. It's called Blast from the Past.
Blast from the past.
So what we do in this segment is we want to help you record a message that you want to tell yourself 5 years later. So 5 years later, we will come back to you again, and then we will show you what you're going to tell yourself. And the time is yours.
I think if I could give myself a message, give a message to Siok 5 years from now, I think I would actually say, dear Siok, you're on this incredible journey, far more amazing than you can even begin to realize at any one moment in time, and you need to enjoy it. I think whether it's as an entrepreneur or as a filmmaker, and understand that when you look back, you'll be amazed at everything that you've been able to accomplish with the help of the many people who have been willing to work with you, work for you, and support you.
Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, Siok. I must say we are very proud of you as a Singaporean who are stepping across boundaries, putting ourselves on the line every day and trying out new things. I think you have really set out a path for a lot of us, an example for all of us who really want to break free from the conventional way of success or the conventional way of doing things. So we really hope that when this video goes out, it will stay on. I mean, it will be on YouTube. It will stay on for another 1 to 2, 3 years. And we really hope that at any one time when people are watching this, they feel inspired and that they really dare to try new things. So thank you for your time, Siok. We really appreciate your sharing. Right. And we hope to catch up with you real soon. And we hope that you can do a Twittamentary about Singapore. I think a lot of you right now come do us, we want to speak, we want to say something. Definitely.
Oh, good. I look forward to doing it. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Thank you, Siok.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Hello, hope that you liked the session with Siok. It spans across two segments, so I really hope that you enjoy it. I didn't really want to cut a lot of things because the time that was spent with her was really enriching and inspiring. What I've learned from Siok is that she just it's really about going after your dream. Yeah, I think time and time again, um, she's doing what she really love, and even though what she love could be challenging to the norms, but she still go and do it. And I love the part where she talk about do really do the things that you really like to do, not because for the money. I think um, in the times like this, or in the environment, or in the society that we live as this, we are very driven by money, profits. If I do this business, what profit that it bring me. Yes, when you do business, profits are important. When you go for work, promotion, bonus are things that you look out for. But I think it goes beyond this. It's really about whether you are happy, not just those, smiley face, but whether are you happy in your heart. I think um, she have taught me a lot of things to follow your heart, and I think that's very important. And I think the heart is the place where you are guided by your values, guided by what you believe in, guided by what you really try. And I think I do a lot of things by my heart as well. A lot of things are very hard to explain on paper and pen and statistics. A lot of things is really follow the heart. So don't be afraid to trust your own heart, right? So I hope that you enjoyed the entire session that I have with Siok. And if you want to connect with her, you can find her on Twitter. She's very active there. You can find her Twitter through me or through YWork. And keep the conversation going on about how you feel about this, or you have questions that you like to float to us, to me, to her. Put your questions on the various platforms that are described in the description tab on Facebook, on Twitter, on Tumblr, or email to us. And till the next interview is going to be very interesting. So I can't wait for you to see it as well. So till then, see you. Goodbye.